because I mean, that's a great point, Tiffany. Like that having that level of granularity, I don't have that today. I could do a lot of other stuff. I don't have that, and that's definitely a capability that we're looking at because we know salespeople. We're very competitive, and we want to encourage that competitiveness, but also hold them accountable too, right? And saying, hey, you haven't bought a customer in 2 quarters. What's going on, right? So yeah, I would be keen to learn more from you.
Yeah. And it's actually something that we're in the process of implementing into our CRM integrations is a salesperson leaderboard, so that when you go in and you're looking at, who's had activity, who's come into the EBC, and even if people have access to see this data, and usually sales leadership does, which salespeople have impacted the most revenue this quarter or year, which is a cool way to build a little friendly competition.
That's great.
Dan, do you want to take it from here? And
yeah, sure.
Tips?
Yeah. Quickly on that kind of same vein, one thing I love that we're able to do with our tool today, from a discussion leader standpoint. So obviously our programs are highly dependent on having the right subject matter experts to come and meet with the customer. And for many of them, that's not their day job, right? They run different parts of the business and all that stuff. And so we're super grateful and we have the pleasure of working with some of the best people in the company that come and engage with our customers in the center. And we want to, it's at the end of every quarter, and sometimes we do a big one at the end of the year. We're able to give them a scorecard of, hey, this is how many engagements you supported this year. This is how much pipeline you helped influence by supporting these engagements. And so we share that with them, especially for their end of year review with their management, and say, hey, you've been spending a lot of time in those customer centers. What's going on with that? Like, yeah, actually, this is how much time I've spent in the centers. This is how many customers I presented to. This is how much opportunity I was able to help influence by me showing up there. And they love it. So us being able to do that and provide them with that level of detail on the impact that they're making for the company by engaging with us is really key. So that's a fun tool. Other processes, I guess, again, just echo both Tiffany and Marcy. It's all about helping to create templates and efficiencies, especially when you have a multi-center program, and giving your team the right tools to have the consistency of communication, and like, again, templates for emails and communicating both externally with customers and making it feel tailored and consistent with our brand, as well as internal communications. And when we're reaching out, having all those templates, how we capture notes, how we input data, all that stuff templatized, while still giving some level of ability to customize, right? So you're not so locked into a template, but still having fields in certain areas that you can personalize it and make it feel custom, but at least the standardization is there, is a huge part of it. One other, I think, unspoken hero that we kind of love or hate is, believe it or not, Microsoft Teams, right? So a pro tip I have for everybody, if you're not doing this already, for every engagement we do, we create a private Teams channel for the back end. So on the day of the engagement, if there's something going on, hey, the session's running long, or we have to push something around or whatever, you're quickly able to notify all the discussion leaders and everyone involved, all the stakeholders that are part of that day. It's all internal. You can say, hey, if you're taking notes in there, they're sharing ideas, especially when we're doing like big roundtable discussions and things like that. We found is super helpful. And then it's also historical. You can go back and look at all the notes, look at the chat history for that engagement. People are sharing files back and forth through it, documents. So we have a love-hate relationship with Microsoft Teams. I will admit that. But it does have some cool capabilities in that regard. And we set up those back-end channels of communication the day of that are really, really, really helpful to us.